No one says anything.
The old start.
You shouldn't have said anything. Should have just recorded.
I know.
Dirty pickle.
Why?
Oh god. Here we go.
Things.
Christian with some random words.
Dude, your dog's gone.
Oh,
What the fuck did that happen?
It just turned into like a dirty tissue.
I didn't even see him run away.
I didn't either. He just turned into like a dirty napkin over there.
Christian was doing his hat trick over there. And
Yeah, there you go.
Why is there napkins on the book?
Where did those come from?
Christian's got a hat and Brian just said like a dog that turns into dirty napkins.
He like vanished and turned into a fucking napkin.
Turned into a dirty napkin. Oh, now that we got that cleared up.
What the hell
Yeah,
is this now? 5?
I don't even know.
So anybody?
5. Bored with
So
the
who's gonna
boy.
throw it in? Is Tim? Oh yeah, Tim didn't introduce us.
Well, I think by episode
Pick
5, I
it up,
don't think we
Tim.
need an introduction.
Oh, I could just kick it off.
God damn it.
Tim just wants to get out of it.
That's not me. That's awkward. Can't just happen.
Just leave some bars.
There's some bars.
Well, last time you told me to do something, I spit water all over myself and it was awful.
And then we use it for the video.
Yeah, that was my intro. See, I introed it last week with my water.
That is true.
You just gotta keep doing that every week.
You gotta up it and you can do milk.
You get the hot sauce.
Sour milk.
Naked hot
Fireball.
sauce. You just pour a fireball in your face.
Let's see how many
that's
fireballs Tim can.
what we do over here on Board with the Boys. Random things happen.
Pour things on our face.
Yep.
Yep.
That's our
Yep.
goal in life. Is to
Yep.
pour liquids on our face.
Smear all over her face.
Alright.
Okay.
Doing good, guys. Doing
Go
good.
ahead, Christian.
Welcome to episode 5 of
Did I
Board with
just
the
do that
Boys.
yesterday? Oh, there you go.
Oh, now you're
Every
talking.
time someone does this, so we probably shouldn't do that
Oh.
again. Every time someone's doing this, so probably not.
No one did that.
No, someone one time we're like this, and then like someone's like this, or someone's always doing something.
Well, I was gonna say episode 5.
Yeah, I usually do that.
Yeah, so
Each
usually.
episode.
He just does this every time. It doesn't matter what episode it is. Episode 10.
He's laughing. All right.
We need like some sort of intro.
What's up? What's everybody?
What's up?
This is episode 5.
I'm like, what's up? What's up, everybody? I went to say that and I messed
Hey,
up.
how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Episode
Hey,
5
how
of
are ya?
Bored with the Boys.
Hey,
Oh, the
welcome
default
to One of the
accent.
Boys.
This is episode 5. I'm glad you're joining with us today. I hope some of you have seen the previous episodes. If not, we are bored with the boys. As you can see, we're very bored. Today we'll be talking about some more random stuff. Is
That was good.
that good?
I
I
like
think that was good.
Yeah,
Like
that's good. Alright, we could just jump right in after that. I think that's solid
You
intro.
always say jump right in.
Either
Alright,
no
let's,
catchphrase,
let's,
Scott.
let's jump right out. We don't have to
My
jump in. We can
catchphrase-
jump in any direction you want.
walk right out.
We can
We can
walk
jump.
right out. We can run.
One.
We can
Yeah, we can do
hop,
flip.
hop,
Right
skip, and a jump.
We
Tumble.
can-
We can try to side flip.
We can
Walk
crash
right
down.
out. You'll
Let's
break
just-
your hip.
Let's just
Let's
side
crash
flip our
right
way
into
to
it.
an injury.
Let's just teleport.
Psycho dab and break your shoulder off.
Let's injure ourselves in this next episode.
First one to hurt themselves wins.
Oh, jeez.
We're not getting that.
Smash my monitor off my face.
Yeah.
All right.
What we're talking about today.
Yeah. Well, episode 5, the bucket list. We introed last time. We introed last time, and now we're gonna really get into it.
Yep.
We're gonna discuss everybody's bucket list. What it is today, how it changed, why it changed. Is it achievable? Maybe.
They
Is it
said,
not?
they said, what is today?
What is today? We'll answer that question for you.
That's the next
What
episode.
is today?
What is today?
What is today? That's one of life's questions. Well, we did answer life's questions in the last podcast. So
So-
be sure to check out episode 4 if you didn't. It's a
That got very
doozy.
in-depth. Yeah.
You're gonna get
Alright,
a real kick
well,
out of it.
All right,
We cleared that up.
the bucket list. Who wants to kick it off?
Fuck it, I'll do it. This is a very generic one. I
Okay.
feel like a lot of people, if you ask like everybody in the world, they'd probably say this one. But I mean, to travel, to see everywhere,
To see everywhere. That's
go
that's
as many places as I can go in my life.
That's on my
I feel
list
like,
actually.
I feel like that's just
That's something sort of.
something
what he said.
everybody sort of wants to do. I feel like, but I mean, that would be kind of awesome to see everything. Not everything, obviously,
Yeah.
as in every building in the world, but
yeah. I think people have
I-
it like usually split. You have like I want to travel more, or you have like I want to travel to a place, like
Yeah,
a
It's
destination.
like usually one place.
I have a similar thing on my list where I just put travel as much as possible, but like to narrow it down, I put like a more narrow goal is just visit another country outside of the U.S. and except like Canada. I've been to Canada, but like somewhere like overseas, there's just some other country that's like one
He's
of
got a
mine.
problem with Canada, except Canada.
Well, no, I've been there already. That's not like
Yeah.
I drove there. Like just somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's like to narrow it down. That's like my first goal. Like I would love to travel as much as possible, but like outside the U.S., another country. That's like
Yeah.
the first thing. That's on my list.
If you had to pick a continent, go.
Well,
That's easier than a country. Continent. I'll give you that.
yeah, I guess that's true. I'm just trying to think of
Honestly, I can't
things.
even think of anything.
Can't think of any continents. There's not that many.
A question for everybody.
I'm trying.
wherever
well-
Ireland is.
On a map.
That's that's
On the
Europe.
world?
I'm between Europe and Asia. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean,
Europe's solid because I think Europe has like
I
a
think
ton
Europe
of
is probably
ton of places there that are like all pretty distinct. I mean, obviously Asia's like way bigger than that, but like
Yeah.
I feel like Europe has just like so many little distinct places that would offer a lot.
I'd probably say Europe. If you're saying a continent, I'd probably say Europe.
Yeah, like in like Asia, like I feel like there's a lot of places, but I feel like there's less places for a much larger continent that I would that I would think of. I mean, I'm sure they're probably like
Yeah.
all nice, but like the
Like
ones that would like
popular.
pop in your head, like
Yeah.
Asia's way bigger, but I could only probably think of a few. But like, yeah, I think Europe has a ton of places, a ton of countries that would be awesome to visit.
So, what would be your last choice?
The one you would never want to visit.
Like the
that's
worst
not
country
point of the
ever?
video.
No, the worst continent you.
The
would
worst
never visit.
continent?
That's like the opposite of what we're
It's
doing.
like-
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I'm just flipping
Well-
things around.
I think we talked a little bit about it in the last episode, but we were saying like,
Australia.
yeah, like Australia seems awesome, but with like the
super deadly, man.
yeah, it's like
Shit.
super. Well, like from what we hear, I don't know, like media and the way they portray like the bugs and the pests and all that kind of crap. Like I feel like that would alone be a reason I wouldn't want to go. But I don't know. I mean, like Sydney and stuff, like looks awesome. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
catching
just-
crocodiles.
Yeah, it's hard to pick a worst. I don't know. I think it's easier to start from the start from the top.
Well,
All right.
Even just to narrow that one down too, since we're on that topic, because we kind of have the same thing. Is if I'm thinking inside the U.S. traveling wise, I think I would. I always wanted to like go somewhere out like west, like Midwest. Like I would have been to like Nevada and stuff, but like Montana or something like just Midwest country or
Colorado.
something. I don't know. Yeah, Colorado, Montana, something over there, like one of the mountain states.
Mountainy,
I
yeah.
think would be
I,
cool.
I put like traveling 50 states and just visit
Yeah.
each one, just learn a little bit of each state, what they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 50 states would definitely be cool. Like, I mean, obviously, there's some states are probably like less exciting, but it would be cool to be like, oh, I've been to like every state, even if it was like a drive-by or something.
Well,
Like
not
the
try, you know.
Just on your way by.
I shot up all the 50
Ga, ga, ga,
states.
ga.
Well, I just say that one too, like Midwest, because
You want to travel mid-waist?
And
because like that leads into like one of my other things on my list is to like really hike a mountain, like a decent sized mountain. Like I don't know where it would be, but that's why I say kind of like the mountain Midwest states because I know there's some good mountains out there. But that's like kind of one of the things that I've always wanted to do is like actually hike like a legit mount, like days like camping out and stuff
Yeah,
inside,
like a true hike.
an active hike. Like that's one of the things that I always kind of wanted to do. I was just leading into that
Yeah.
kind of from the other one.
Yeah,
Alright.
that'd be cool.
Solid.
A true like sick hike would be awesome. Like, yeah, I mean, everyone does like quick little day trips, afternoon trips, but do like not like Everest style, but like a full out like mountain trail. Like,
Something in the middle between Everest
Yeah,
and like a
that'd be pretty
4 hour
cool.
hike and like Everest, something in the middle, like a day
Yeah,
or two.
yeah, Everest just seems awful. I know, like some people have that on their bucket list, but I don't know. Like, I don't want to do something that like,
Probably die.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that's a lot of chance of like something could go wrong. That's a rough one.
Cool.
Well, on the page of like traveling and that kind of thing, one thing that's always been sort of on my list would be to like rent a really nice car, like a Lamborghini or something, and to drive like the California coast. Like people that I know
Big
people
Sur.
that live over there, yeah, like the Big Sur
Big
area.
Sur.
I know people that live over there and have done it, and they're like, oh yeah, it's definitely cool. It's one of the best roads, but like to them it's normal. But for like over here, I feel like
We don't have.
we don't really have that like that long of a drive that does that, and the weather we have is obviously limited for what would make a nice drive. I think like renting like a sick car and just doing like it's kind of like in the same vein of like a hike, but obviously it's not the same. But it's like you go on like this journey that might take a couple days, and you can make some stops, but like you kind of on the road and stop at the beaches, and you kind of just get to like experience that, drive up and see some of the cities. Like, oh, that seems like a really cool thing, like one of the really awesome things like the United States has to offer.
Mhm.
That's always been something I kind of wanted to do. So I would say that's definitely in my top 10 bucket list items.
Oh, damn, that sounds cool. I would enjoy that too. That sounds fun.
So
Definitely,
I'll-
cars is definitely something. I
That one's
enjoy.
kind of like a two-part. Like I want to
Mhm.
be able to drive like a Lamborghini someday. That'd be awesome. Not, I mean, yeah, like they have like those test tracks, but I want to like drive a Lamborghini on the road. Like go get groceries in a Lamborghini.
just thought of something too. Go to Abu Dhabi.
Fight Island.
Abu Dhabi would be cool. Ferrari World. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a,
that's
I mean,
the reason.
there's a lot over there now, like
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi and Dubai and stuff like that. But a lot of people say it's like not overrated, but like it's so high priced because it's very like commercialized over there. So I don't know, it definitely looks cool. I mean, Dubai looks like insane. Like every day that place just gets like bigger and bigger. It's like one of the craziest cities all of a sudden.
What about you,
Okay.
Christian? I mean,
All right, so this one I kind of wanted to answer before. I mean, after all you guys. So go to Lost Lands Festival with the boys. The very last
Oh
concert.
shit, yeah.
mhm.
That'd be dope.
I was
I didn't
So
even
I
think
was-
about festivals. Yeah,
I
Me
was
neither.
gonna write that. So not maybe not Lost but like a festival, maybe Tomorrowland was
Tomorrowland.
kind of. I
like
always wanted to go
Coachella or
to Tomorrow-
something.
Yeah,
Co-
tomorrow. Like
Coachella's like a really mixed. I feel like like Los Angeles would be
Mm-hmm.
nasty. EDC like EDC Vegas would be
EDC maybe.
crazy.
That's
and
pretty. I
And
feel like we could do
Tomorrowland,
that.
Tomorrowland in like Stockholm or wherever it is would be crazy. That
That's
one
the
just
thing.
looks so huge.
Yeah, like I think EDC we could definitely do something like that. Like that's not that the other one's not realistic, but that's more doable. Like EDC, I feel like we
Yeah.
could do that.
Yeah,
Tomorrowland
EDC
is,
Vegas,
like,
you
way
can get
more
like
money,
a
bigger
hotel
thing,
room
it's
and
crazy. But
it's like in the
Yeah,
US
that's-
you could get a hotel room, multi-pass day, whatever. But like Tomorrowland, you gotta book like a flight overseas.
Yeah.
That's like gotta get your
But-
like whatever paperwork you need to get out and stuff.
Yeah.
that so like going off of that one, I was gonna write that, and then I started to think about that like a festival, but instead of writing that one, I actually just wrote See Millennium again with everyone because that
Yeah.
That was
was my favorite show.
that was
out
a
of everything
damn
we've seen-
good time.
Out of every show we've been to, countless shows of all the shows we've been to, I think Millennium was my favorite. So if I could, like, that's like something definitely high on my list. Just to see Millennium again, it was just amazing.
Well, just a
On
quick
that- on
Yeah.
that note.
That was awesome.
a quick trip down memory lane. That's literally the only time we ever did a 2-night like 10 DJ
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
run.
Oh yeah. So
I know
love that.
Tim missed a little bit that first night, but I mean the second night I think was better. We all went out after and stuff, but
Yeah.
singing Millennium and like Said the
All
Sky and
punch.
that whole group that was crazy.
Those couple nights, that was like one of the best weekends ever.
That was awesome. Yeah,
That was awesome.
yeah, because we like went out to eat before Millennium and like that was like a whole experience. That was good fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess another one of mine, kind of on the same list of like the cars that Scott said earlier. It's more of a simple one, but to buy like a 67 through 70 Pontiac GTO, that's like one of my favorite cars.
Nice.
I've always
Really?
loved that since I was a kid.
Like
They're
buy
just
it
sexy, man.
buy it done or like buy an old one and restore it yourself.
I don't know. I'd be fine with both, honestly. I mean, I feel like
That'd be
putting
cool.
in the work would make it more like personal.
Yeah,
But I
absolutely.
mean, just to own one in general, like if it was already nice, I'd love it. That's like my favorite car.
You should talk to my boss, my manager, Mike. He loves those. That's his favorite car. He used to have a GTO. Wasn't that old,
That's
but
so bad.
it was not an older one, but he loves GTOs too.
I love it.
Those are nasty. Yeah.
Like the one that Vin Diesel drove in Tokyo Drift, was it? Or I forget which one it was, but
Yeah, one of the older ones.
Yeah, one of those ones. They all blend together.
with the engine popping out of the front. Oh,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the big,
sexy. Okay.
That's a good one.
I'm more of a for cars wise, like older cars. I love the old Group B rally cars. Like one of my favorite cars. I think it's the RS Ford RS 500 or Cosworth 500 or something. It's like it's this weird little boxy rally car thing. But those are like my favorite older cars. Like, but it's like stupidly priced because they made like 2 of them. But that's like my car list. But
I mean, old muscle is definitely pretty awesome, but when I like lean to cars, I'm definitely like more sporty style. Like that's just
Yeah.
like, so like, obviously like everyone likes exotics, like it's supercars, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I would definitely take a chance at driving like something like a Lamborghini or
Bugatti.
like I mean like hypercar style like Pagani,
Yeah.
again Bugatti, like that would be ridiculous.
Yeah,
A Koenigsegg or something like that, like to drive one of those, like owning one of those, that's like that's not a bucket list item, because bucket list would be like, oh, to make $1 billion to buy one,
yeah,
but
that's
to be able to like
lifestyle. That's
to
like
drive one like on your own for like a trip or something would be pretty sick.
Rent it for the week, go down the California coast, like you said.
Yeah, like that's super possible. That's not like there's plenty of companies out there that do that, so people can do that exact same thing. Like it could be expensive, but you could probably do like 2 days for like less than $1,000 or something, probably, which is expensive, but that's not horrible for like the experience you would get.
Right.
So it's not related to, well, it's because I'm not like you guys, a car person. So I put one's kind of similar to it is go to Japan and do a Mario Kart.
Oh, like the one you rent it and like drive in the streets.
Yep.
I've seen a ton of like those videos on YouTube. It does look pretty fun.
Somebody-
Like
it's like a
nobody
little race.
says anything to you. You just like ripping around the streets in like little carts, little go
Yeah, I don't know
karts.
how that works.
You only live once, so might as well do it, you know?
You like actually racing people, like
Well, no,
throwing
you
Yeah,
can,
I
like-
honestly don't know.
You go to like it's like a little random street, and you have like costumes that you can put on for all the Mario characters, and then you get like these modified go karts.
Mhm.
I think they're all like electric, and you just like ripping on the streets, doing like pretty quick in and out of the cars, and like nobody says anything to you. You just like have it all day, rip around in like a Toad costume, and then go back and drop it off later. It's pretty cool. I've seen like a ton of
That's
like
awesome.
YouTubers and stuff do it, and it looks super sick. It's just like on like some random street in Japan. It's not like commercialized. It's just like a random guy. If you find him, you get like this awesome
Yes,
opportunity.
like at a corner of
It's a
like,
hidden-
you know,
It's a hidden side quest.
Yeah,
find him.
it's a side quest in your
Is
main
that like a
quest.
little exclamation mark floating above his head? Like,
Yeah.
come over and say,
Yeah.
hey,
you jump and hit it.
funny.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. Yeah, see, it's like you don't even think of all these things. Like Tim and I were talking about earlier, just like the bucket list almost becomes like anything you just want to do. Like you
Yeah.
think of it as like these insane things you want to like accomplish, but it's also just like, oh, I've never done like this little thing. I would love to do that one day. Like, is that a bucket list maybe, or is it just like something I'd like to do? Because everything you guys
Yeah.
have said is like, yeah, I'd love that. I'd love that too.
Exactly. Like I was what I said earlier, just your bucket list turns into, which I think everyone's, if you start thinking about it, just turns into everything you haven't done. It's
Yeah.
just like basically what it is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just new experiences, new places. That's just basically what it is.
Yeah, it was pretty tough to think of a couple of things off my mind because it's mostly the things that like they're not as too exciting as like skydiving, what we were talking before. Yeah, like that's crazy. Like I want to do something crazy like that. But the only thing I would think of is drive a tank or fly a plane.
Drive a tank. Holy shit.
You can't do that. There's places that
Yeah,
let
you can do that.
Yeah.
Like flying a
was
plane. Flying a plane is cool, but I feel like I don't know. It's like super
like a-
sketchy too.
A jet.
Oh,
Damn.
Oh my god.
I mean, you could be in a jet. You mean like actually fly it, or just be
Yeah,
in?
actually
like-
fly. Hey, it's a
Oh,
bucket.
that's
You gotta do
See
something
that's
crazy.
hard because that's a goal that requires like a pre-goal of like
So much training.
Like-
learning how to do it almost. I mean
All right, I'll
that's
see
one
what's in
thing,
fly
but
plane.
that's a rough one.
Well, no, but even plane, it's the same thing.
Yeah, you gotta
Still
get your
take-
license and stuff.
Like
But
a
I'm saying, like, you-
helicopter, too.
there is a harder to do, but like they have things where you can sit in like the second seat of a
Simulation.
jet.
Yeah, in like a jet,
No, they're
like
like,
Mach 2 or
fly.
something.
Yeah, in a jet. Like that's possible. You're not gonna fly the thing, but you can be inside of it. While, like, you
Hey,
know,
don't shit on the man's dreams.
Oh no, I just
He just wants everything.
What's with
Yeah,
you
they're
ripping on
flying.
Christian tonight?
Dude,
Yeah.
I was gonna drive a tank, then get off the tank,
Get in the
and
jet.
get in the jet right away, and
Yeah,
just
that'd be
like
funny.
fly.
off into the sunset and
Or
just
do,
never
or
be
do the other
again.
thing, or do the opposite direction. Just fly a plane, jump off the plane, skydive into a
Plane.
tank.
Oh shit!
Have the hatch already open?
Yeah, you like
Yeah.
drop the
You
parachute, just
in it,
land.
and you shut it as you land at the same time.
The tank is sitting on the California coastline, and then you
Yeah.
drive the tank
Cruising.
on the California coastline.
Yeah, there you go.
You blow up the Lamborghini.
There you go.
Yeah,
Do some like in Fast and Furious. Like that's how
you
I
like
drive.
driving a tank and just shooting the other cars.
And then at the very end, there's a rave. Boom, knocked out
Boom.
all of them.
Yeah,
Right
yeah,
there.
There you
Yeah,
go. Lost
Well,
Lands.
it's a festival. Yeah,
Yeah.
Drive the tank to the festival. Boom, life is over, complete.
done. That's like every
Blow
bucket
up-
list
blow
item
up
in
the
one
stage at
like
the end.
in one 3-hour journey.
That's like an epic list right there.
Well,
Mhm.
if you can do that, dude, I'm super jealous.
Pull off the first part is the hardest.
Yeah. Well,
Getting a
I guess
jet.
to just back up a little bit, he mentioned skydiving. So I know we all kind of mentioned it last time. It's like
Yeah.
a generic thing. I think everyone sort of like says that because that's one of those like extreme things that anyone could do because you don't really do it by yourself. You could like do it with somebody else. Like you just have to call a place and book a time. It's not hard to do. Well, I think that one's like I was thinking more about that one. I was like, why does everyone want to do that? Like some people just don't like heights and it's just falling. Like it's cool, but it's like it's one of the things that you can kind of say like you did, but you don't have to ever like do it again. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I feel like some bucket list items, like you do it, and it's like you know you might want to do those things more or whatever. But like skydiving, like unless you get super into it, most people is like, oh yeah, like I went skydiving, and it's kind of like a check mark.
Mhm. I still want to do it.
Yeah,
I
it's still like on my list because I think it's just like the experience of it, like the free falling, seeing the like the Earth or wherever you are from like that height is just like something you just don't get
Oh,
anywhere else.
Earth or wherever you are.
Well, like,
Like
I mean, like-
skydiving on the moon. Like, what
Well,
do
like
you-
I meant like you're not gonna see like the whole Earth, but like you know if you're like in a state, you know you're gonna see
I know.
like wherever you are. Just
Well,
changing the
going-
scale. Like I'm not gonna be like that guy who the Red Bull guy who like free
jumped
fell
from
from like the space thing. Like
Just fell
Oh my
past
God, I
out
remember
halfway.
yeah, remember that was
Or,
like that was a couple years ago. Like it was like Felix
Yeah.
something. He like a Red Bull thing. Like that was like the longest free fall in history. Like that looked ridiculous. Like that would be a cool
He
thing. Even
passed
though
out and then regained consciousness.
oh yeah, because he was
And then
falling for
let
like 30 minutes before he even hit he hit the atmosphere. Yeah, like, that's crazy.
Or do
Yeah.
like go inside a submarine, like see the underwater.
Ooh.
That's sketchy for
No.
me. See,
Hell
that's,
yeah,
See,
I'd
I
love
don't-
that.
man, I don't know.
I'm not an underwater person, so like a submarine
yeah.
freaks me out.
I love it.
That's a little sketchy for me. Too.
I would rather
Submarine-
be in the sky than in a submarine, personally.
Yeah, me too.
Surrounded by sharks.
In the sky? Sky sharks?
Sharknado.
Sharknado, yeah, that's true.
You go Sharknado.
Yeah.
Ah,
Right?
sky.
It's like dying again.
So the problem with submarine is like you don't really have like windows. You know what I mean? Like it's mostly all like radar and stuff. Maybe in like the front thing, but like you're not just like on like a tourist submarine. Like if you're in a submarine, you're in like the military. You're like
It's
the
a
Navy.
military, yeah.
So it's not like I feel like people on a submarine is like you're not there like, oh, I'm enjoying this being on a submarine. Like, so it's like you could say you want to be on a submarine, but I feel like when you do it, you might not be like, wow, this is awesome. You'd be like, whoa,
See,
this
like-
is super scary, like being surrounded by
Giant
like
octopus outside the window or
Yeah.
something. Be like, oh my god.
Just
I mean,
just
it-
hunting like legendary like creatures and stuff.
And the big movie.
I think you just have a skewed
Oh, there you go.
picture of what submarines are.
No, that's another thing. You just go hunting legendary creatures or something like something
What does that
crazy.
mean?
I
Is
don't
there
know,
such
just
thing as
like
legendary creatures?
I don't know.
Of course there is.
Bigfoot.
Oh, they just haven't. So you mean like you want to go like Bigfoot chasing? So that's basically Tim's hiking idea. That's like his secret agenda is chasing Bigfoot.
Or
You can-
what's the monster there? The Loch Ness monster.
Mhm.
Oh, see, and we're traveling to Europe. That's where that was seen. So all these are
Damn.
connecting. These are all connecting, guys. Secret agenda on the bucket list.
Kill legendary monsters.
Hunting legendary.
Hunting
Okay.
legendary monsters. That's the title of the episode. The bucket list : hunting legendary monsters.
First episode, we're gonna hunt barefoot.
Barefoot? You could hunt barefoot. That's a whole different thing, though.
He's just like shooting a crossbow with no feet, no sandals on, or no shoes on, no feet.
off.
I don't know what I'm saying.
But even going back to your submarine thing, I know like a lot of people think they want to go like snorkeling in
Scuba
certain
diving.
parts of the world. They have like in like the super clear, like the reef, like Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah.
That's like what like everyone wants to go like snorkel diving there or whatever. Like that's pretty cool. Like that's something that I would do. I don't know. I would say it's on my bucket list, but that's something like I would love to do.
Like we went snorkeling on our honeymoon, and it was cool, but I don't know if like snorkeling itself was like the cool part if it was just because of where you were. You know what I mean? Like snorkeling alone, like you're like, you know, gargling the freaking water as you're trying to like use the snorkel unless you don't know what you're doing. But like just being like oh shit, like I'm on a boat with like crystal clear water and the sun shining, like that's like the really cool part. So
that's just the whole experience of it.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely cool, but yeah, I think it's like more of like location based when you think of it that way.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. People have it different experience.
Yeah,
Maybe I just
mean, I feel like that like snorkeling is like a smaller thing, so it just gets tied into like a traveling thing. Like it's just something you do when you travel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they have it in a lot of like different places and stuff, but
any other ones that aren't really? We kind of connected all of them in all of ours.
I don't know, we connected a lot. I have some other ones unconnected, but I think we connected them pretty well. Like everyone like sort of relate. Like everyone has like some form of like travel on there, whether it's in the US or it's like outside. So I think like all of ours so far are connecting to that. I mean, I guess skydiving not necessarily, but like you're kind of seeing more. Like the point of skydiving is like the free falling, but you're also like the view you have. So you're kind of like it's like sort of like in the travel sense of like like the adrenaline thing. So like I think they all relate to that fashion. Anyone have any more in that vein?
Another one I had, it's not. I feel like it doesn't really have anything to do with what we talked about. It's very broad, but just to beat like a world record of any kind, like be on the Guinness Book of Records, you know,
like Dude Perfect style.
I haven't even thought of what I wanted to beat, but like I definitely want to beat one someday.
I feel like it's super possible because I always see videos of like
it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, and like easy ones, like they do like 6 of them in a day, and it's just like because they're like just random overlooked ones that like no one ever tries to beat.
Yeah, and it just like you can almost come up with something that's like connected to another one, like Mr. Beast did one where it was like the longest football catch with your knees.
Oh, I seen that. That was his
with Cam Newton, the football player.
Yeah, video that was like unreleased things they had, and that was one of them. Was like how many records they did like 3 of them. They did like the highest football catch, the longest football.
Yeah, and it's like
a bunch
it's
of
like things like they were like, oh, is it? It's world records is probably another conversation, but it's like, is it a record if no one's actually trying to beat it? Like, if you're the first person to attempt it, like, is it a record?
As long as I'm in the book, I mean, I feel like I'd rather try to I feel like I'd want to beat somebody.
Yeah,
like making the largest pizza.
Have the dude like stand right next to me, you know, like actually judging me, you know, like legit stuff.
Yeah, they have. They send out.
They send out like an auditor person or whatever.
Yep.
Breaking a record. That's
definitely
cool.
Something I'd want to do.
We're gonna do that on the channel too, guys.
Let's do it.
We're gonna
go skydiving together, and we're gonna beat a record, world record.
We gotta beat the skydiving record.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
And we're gonna somehow end up on a submarine.
We're gonna skydive into a submarine.
Breaking a record. That's pretty cool.
About ghost hunting, because I always wanted to do that. Just to explore the unknown.
So I actually, I didn't think of that, but it's like, so exploring the unknown. I'm not like believer into that kind of stuff, like, but
just experience
like the concept of doing it almost like leads back to like Tim's thing, which is like getting a good group of people going somewhere that's not like abandoned, but like somewhere like maybe that hasn't been traveled a lot, and you're like more like exploration. I guess not a whole ghost hunting, but I'm thinking more like exploration with like people and like seeing new things and discovering like, oh man, like this used to be whatever, and like that concept is cool. And it's like if you get spooked or it's like dark or whatever, like that's a fun aspect of it. But like the ghost hunting specifically, it wouldn't be like what I would try to do. I just think like the scariness of the moment adds to like the fun that you would have. But yeah, like the exploration thing is like huge. Like that, I guess that's a hard one because that's not like a bucket list. That's just something I want to do like all the time, all the
Cool
time.
experience.
Yeah, it's the same thing for me. Like, and like you said, it's like depends on what you like, what your beliefs are and whatnot. Like me, I don't really like. I'm like same as you. I don't really believe in like necessarily ghosts and stuff, but I would love to do that. Like it's still fun.
Yeah, and like be spooked and be like laugh about it later. Be like, oh man, that was crazy.
like it's still a fun experience. Hang out with your friends, do something different, like have a fun night.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Was that on your list?
Yeah, I just added it right now. Other things. I was looking at other things like, but this is something I would do. I probably don't would visit China, and like because I'm really big on the Chinese culture. I really like because I watched all the martial arts movies, so I want to kind of learn the ways of like Chinese martial arts, like kung fu, things like that. Those are one of the things that Bruce Lee actually made up from the style that he actually learned. He just made it out of. He's like, I'm just call this kung fu, and then it's like.
Are you saying gung fu?
Yeah.
I never heard of that.
No, because there's different styles of martial arts.
I believe you. It's like so many I didn't heard. It's just like, it was like, is he saying kung fu or is he saying gung
fu? That's the way you say it.
Yeah,
like
no,
I was watching
you,
I was watching like Ip Man 4, and that like brought me back to like, oh man, I that's how I got into like the whole martial arts aspect, UFC, watching that, and all the different types of sports that incorporate into martial arts, like boxing, karate, jiu-jitsu, all that stuff. Yeah, wrestling. Like,
I was watching.
I just want to go. Yeah,
I was watching a thing. It just reminds me about like the Ip Man movies, and someone was like, "Man, I wish real life was actually like that, where it wasn't guns, it wasn't war, it was just like dojo wars. So it's just like across the street from you, there's like a separate dojo, and you're like, he threw a rock at us, and you just have like some dojo karate tournament in the street to determine the winner. Then you're like, the losers all go home, and you like celebrate. Like it's just like little dojo wars all over the place. Like solve everything with karate. It's just like yeah, it would be kind of fun. It's just like it would just be a lot better because everyone would just be like all these really weird, sophisticated karate fights everywhere. That's just a random aside, but I was like, yeah, that would actually be pretty cool.
Sorry, it was Wing Chun. I got it wrong.
Oh yeah, everyone's heard of Wing Chun, Kung Fu.
No, because I was trying to get in my head something that came rushing in, and I didn't really think about it.
You must be thinking of that spicy chicken.
No. They do call it Gung Fu. Gung Fu. What does Gung Fu mean? Blah blah. I'm looking up at it right now on Google, but it is a different term of Kung Fu, what they say in China.
Yeah, no, yeah, I've heard of Wing Chun, and that's like what Ip Man uses and all that whole style, that like peaceful defense art style and stuff. That's definitely cool.
I feel like I kind of want to learn something like that also, like kung fu or karate or something. Like I feel like that'd be a cool skill to have.
Yeah, that's like I guess that's a whole nother thing. Like skills that you would want to have. Like Christian meant like fly a plane. Like that, I feel like that's not instantly achievable. Like you have a goal of like flying the plane, and then you have like another goal of like learning to fly a plane. You know what I mean? Same thing with karate. It's like being a black belt, and it's like, well, you gotta train and get all the way there first.
That's Bruce Lee style. Jeet Kune Do.
Jack?
No, JeetKunedo.
Jeet? I think it's Jeet Kune Do.
Anyways,
it's like
hey, we're learning today.
Like yeet.
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 No.
Yeet Kune Do. That's gonna be Brian's style. Like, what'd you learn? I learned yeet.
Toss your opponent.
It's crazy how like all these styles come up. Like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu just came out of nowhere and just like wowed the UFC the first time.
Well, I think they all have like an entry point. Like Wing Chun and those ones, they kind of like entered into like the movie scene when Bruce Lee became big because he was like a huge star. And like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has been around for like forever. And then someone was like, oh, like let's create this whole like martial arts thing. And then like, oh, we'll compete in that. And then that got big because they were good. So it's like everyone has like their one thing that like brings it to the top, because there's probably like 50 styles we've never even heard of out there. You know what I mean? That people do.
But that's the cool thing about it. You learn something new each day, and then
Yeah.
you see what can incorporate to what people are now, and see if it's gonna work with them or against them. Because some
Yeah.
styles can actually negate each other or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool to like spend a month in like a Thailand Muay Thai camp or something like that. Like they're kind of
That'd be
brutal,
neat.
but like it would be.
Muay Thai. You ever seen tournaments of that? Like I've
Oh
seen.
yeah, like the raw tournaments over there. They're like people like die.
So I've seen two dudes in Muay Thai tournament or whatever, just a regular style in the ring, and then all of a sudden the guy falls out of the ring, comes in, gets a steel chair, hits the dude.
It's like WWE.
Yeah, something like that. It was crazy. I don't know where I saw this video, but
Were they wearing like luchador masks?
No, they weren't. This is legit. Like, and then the referee came in, and then
He started
they went
fighting.
back and forth, and then they went back to the regular stance that they were doing. Like, it was weird. It was one of those weird videos that you'll find on social media. It's crazy out there.
Interesting.
I guess that's a
I'll
good
check
like.
it out.
I was that's a good. I guess that's a good segue into like another segment of goals for like.
Weird videos.
No, not weird. It's like like
We should do that. We should do like a react. Like we all watch the same video and we react.
yeah, we could do that and like we could start a series of reacts. React series are actually like huge right now. But like you Brian mentioned like the skill set and Chris talked about like learning karate and stuff like that. Like another one is like skill set but also like athletic based goals.
Right.
So we were talking about this earlier, and
I'll never
Michelle,
achieve any of those.
Michelle mentioned she had her own goal of like running or competing a triathlon. She's like, oh, you can't steal our my bucket list item. But like one thing that I've always like thought of, like triathlon is pretty cool, but like my like athletic goal that I always wanted to achieve was just like a basic marathon.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind running, but I've never been like a super long distance runner. Like the longest ones I've done is like the Spartan races and stuff with Tim, but like I mean, I guess it's another one. I would love to run like an ultra beast
Okay.
in Spartan race.
I actually thought another one for my goal for my bucket list is actually doing a Spartan race because I can never do one.
That's
I
a
can't
good
even
one.
run a mile.
But like a marathon is just like it's such a generic athletic goal, and it's still so super hard. Like how long it is, and like me and Tim talked about like, oh, we're gonna do one like in 2020 or something like that.
Yeah.
Talked about it.
And then like we started running, and then we both just like started dying slowly inside, like because running sucks. And we're like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. But I don't know. It's still like a thing would be just like to do it, even if you just like suck at it. But like it'd be a cool like check mark. Be like, oh, I did a freaking marathon.
You know, one of the funnest ones I did for a race was that night run.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty cool. Like each corner was like a stage, and those stages had different musicians. They would play music, and you just have fun running. You wouldn't even think about like the whole like running 5 miles because you're enjoying yourself and having company around you. Like all the people just jamming. And then at the end of the concert, the end of the run is concert.
Yeah, that one was cool because of like the ending piece of it. But like, I mean, like the Spartan ones are cool, but it's like obviously physical. Like you have to get into it. So like. Those are good goals to like set out, but like Spartan has if you don't know, like they have like the 3 levels, it's like easy, medium, hard, but then they have like harder, which is called the Ultra Beast. It's basically a marathon, but with a Spartan race. So it's like obviously ridiculous. And the beast is always like so hard that we've never even contemplated doing like that ultra one. But like a bucket list item there would be like, I guess that's kind of like a 2-part. So it's like doing and completing it, but also like getting myself to a point that I could even do that or do the marathon. Like it gets harder and harder as years go by, as my body falls apart already. But yeah, like from a physical standpoint, like those doing like the Ultra Beast for Spartan and doing a marathon would be something I would at least just want to do once each. I think would be cool to check it off.
Yeah. That's for me.
That was a good list of items there. That's
pretty much it, I think. I mean, besides, I just had like not really a bucket list, but just to wrap it up, just an overall ongoing goal. I just always just try to
do something that makes you something.
Just doing something that makes you happy. Always doing something, new experiences.
Yeah.
For yourself, just as an overall like bucket list goal, as like an ongoing thing. But,
yeah, I guess that's like my last one. I kind of wanted to wait till the end, so it's like, we mentioned in the beginning like how your goals evolve over time. You know, like when you're younger, you have like, you know, more fun-based goals. As you get older, you have more like life-based things. Like the one thing I've been definitely going for, like already actively trying to do, is like just starting your own thing. Like everyone has the idea, like, you know, you want to like work for yourself, be your own boss, that kind of thing. But like I like creating stuff and being able to like create something that you like turn into. Like Tim said, like, you know, do something you like, be happy. Like trying to like
Something
live
to
your
change the world.
yeah, like live your passion and do what's fun, but be able to like make a career out of it, which is
Yeah.
like really hard to do because everyone's like, oh, I like doing carpentry or I like doing that. And it's like that's good, and if you like it and you enjoy it and you want to do that, that's fine. But very few people are able to take like a hobby or something they really like and do it for like work. So like that's like a kind of like a huge bucket list item for me, is be able to like succeed in creating something to like make a living off of like something you're passionate about. Like kind of like what we're trying to do here.
We change the world one step at a time.
Yeah.
Well, it's horrible, but
Yeah, we're not gonna change anyways. We're gonna change the world with this, but I mean, it's like it's definitely a passion of all of ours, I think.
negative, so that's good. Yeah,
All right. So that
Episode
wraps it
5
up,
is,
people.
in the books.
pretty much just a quick one. It feels like a quick one. I don't know how long that was, but
Yeah, I don't know how long that actually went, but yeah, I felt like a quick one. That was good. I think we rifled through some nice bucket list ones. Kind of put that one in the books, I guess.
generic stuff. But
And it's closed.
Yeah, oh, it was
Episode
fun.
6
Yeah,
coming
it was
up
fun
next.
to discuss. Fun to discuss. Episode 6. We'll
we don't know yet.
we don't know yet. We'll see what we'll see what comes out next
Stay
week.
tuned. Mystery.
Stay tuned. Podcast coming weekly every Sunday. Tune in.
Episode 6.
6.
Thanks.
6.
Right.
And we out.
Forward the boys.
Bye. See you next time.
Bye.
Adios.